Kristen, thanks so very much for coming to be a part of this information session. We just want as many students as possible to become more aware of the many colleges and the opportunities at these different colleges, because as a Gameton College team, our aim is to increase the enrollment rate for college students from high school, particularly in Durham, but hopefully across North Carolina. So at this point, I'm going to turn it over to you, Kristen.
Okay, thank you. So I am Kristen Waldrop. I am the Regional Admissions Coordinator for the states of North Carolina and South Carolina for the University of Tennessee. So what that means is I live in the Charlotte area, so I can be closer to my families and my schools that I want to develop relationships with. And then I also am the person that reads the applications for students from that area. So I am the first point of contact and somebody that you want to share information with to get to know the student better so I can advocate for them through the admissions process. So this is just a quick slide. I have a short presentation. This is Smokey. He's our mascot. He's a blue tick coon hound. There have been 11 or 12, I think we're on our 12th Smokey, since he became our mascot back in the 50s. So I just have a quick video that I want to play for you really fast to kind of introduce what campus looks like and what Knoxville kind of looks like, so you can have a glimpse of what it would be like to be a student at Tennessee.
Just a second, please. So many times the videos that are played, somehow we don't get a volume, we don't get the sound.
Okay.
Is this something that we will, is this something that we're expected to hear, or if we don't hear
right,
the
sound, it's embedded into the presentation. It should work. It worked on my live presentation, so we'll try it. If it doesn't work, just give me a high five and I'll stop it.
Okay, no worries.
Okay.
I'm so grateful that I have the opportunity to be in Tennessee.
Okay, y'all are able to hear it?
Yes, especially the last part. But the good thing is that closed caption was there throughout most of it.
Yes. All right. So let's. Normally I do this little introduction thing, but we'll just skip over this. But I just wanted to let you know that I am interested in getting to know you. And at the end of the presentation, all of my contact information is there. So if you do have any questions or want to let me know a little bit more about you, you can give me this information in email, or you can either call or text me. So this is just another quick glimpse of our campus. The torchbearer that they alluded to in the video and some other pictures. Ayers Hall is one of the oldest buildings on our campus. And of course the stadium, which is kind of what one of the big things we're known for in athletics. So here's some quick facts about our university. So if you're thinking about applying in the future, you can kind of get these numbers, which is some of the most asked questions. The size of our campus, we're about 22,000 undergraduate students. With our other programs on our campus, we're around 30,000. So that includes like our veterinary school, our law school, the master's and PhD programs. About 400 majors that we offer. And so there's a lot of different opportunities at our campus. But we have 9 colleges, so it's a very wide range of study. I like to tell students who are from North Carolina especially, it's like taking the biggest majors from UNC Chapel Hill and the biggest majors from NC State and merging them into one university. That's what the University of Tennessee is to the students in Tennessee. It is the land-grant university and the flagship university. So in Tennessee, we just have that one university versus the 2 large universities in North Carolina. With that said, I mean, we still have a really great student to faculty ratio because we're a smaller size of a big campus, you know, falling in that SEC range. So 17-to-1 is going to be in your major. You might in your earlier classes in your first couple of years have a larger class size, but they'll always meet back the same week with your faculty member in a class size of 25 or smaller. So it's a really good for students who want to go to a big school but want to have small classes, so they're held accountable for the schoolwork they'll be doing. We also have a really great 6-year graduation rate, and that's the year is what most universities are using now. So our students are very successful. So with that, we're really pay a lot of attention to what we do in the admissions process because we want to accept students who will be successful. We also, because of that, have some alternate pathways that our students can come to University of Tennessee through those alternate pathways if they're not 100% ready for the college experience. And then so those students who don't meet those middle ranges that you can see on the screen, the GPA and the test score ranges, because we have holistic admissions, we have ways that we can help our students come to Tennessee and be successful. Those middle 50% GPA is a core GPA, and we'll talk about how we calculate that in a little bit. But that's a weighted 3.6 to 4.3 is our incoming class last year, middle 50%. And then same with the ACT. We do take the SAT as well. We just convert it to the ACT score when we're talking about our test scores. And this is a super score for our incoming class last year of between a 25 and 30. So as I talked about just briefly, we do have 9 undergraduate colleges on our campus. We do have 60 honors concentrations within those colleges and majors. And then we do have 3 competitive programs, which is nursing, which is a direct admit program. So that's very popular with our students. It's probably the most popular major for students applying to competitive programs. Engineering as well, and then architecture, which also includes interior architecture. So our student life is very active. We have lots of clubs and organizations. We have really great facilities and buildings for our students. We have, like for example, we have a Pride Center, which is its own large building that celebrates the community. And then we have a Black Cultural Center. We have religious organizations and then academic and personal interest organizations. over 500 that students participate in. And that doesn't include like the rec center and all the outdoor activities that you may have seen in the video. So there's a lot of things to do on campus as well as off campus in Knoxville and at the University of Tennessee. 40 dining establishments on campus. So we do have like Starbucks and as well as your traditional buffet dining halls that you find at most universities. They're building a new one that'll be open next fall. So that's really exciting. So we'll have more places to eat. My favorite place to eat is called Fresh Foods. It's in Stokely Hall, which is the dorm where the athletic students live. And it's amazing. They have the best food, I think, of any campus. I've worked at multiple campuses and have been to a lot of different schools. And that Fresh Foods dining hall is probably the best I've ever had. So if you're ever on campus, eat at Fresh Foods. And then also our living and learning communities are within our residence halls. And so those are apartment styles, community styles, and suite styles. All of our dorms are either completely renovated or new within the last couple of years. That's a really great thing to see. You can do a campus tour. And you also can do a individual housing tour as well. So if you once campus is open, you can come back to campus and they'll tour you through the different styles of housing that we offer, so you can check those out before you decide if you want to attend the university and do your housing application. So this is a little bit about how you would apply. So our vip.utk.edu. If you've ever been to a college fair, then the University of Tennessee was there, you might have picked up a sticker off of our table that has this address on it. That replaces what kind of used to people would use, like little inquiry cards. You would fill that out and give it to the person representing the school, and they'd take it back and do the data entry. And then eventually you would get on an email list or a mailing list. Well, now we just use this virtual site where you can log in and give us all of your information. You can start an application there. And so it's just a place that kind of is a portal for prospective students to use. So that's what a vol in progress or a volunteer in progress account is. So we do also take the Common App if you want to, and we do require the essay. The essay on our application is the same as the Common App application. So if you're not applying to a lot of schools that use the Common App and you're just applying to a couple schools, you can feel free to use our application. But if you're wanting to use a Common App, that's fine. It's about 50-50 of who applied this past year, how those applications were sent to us. We do require a high school transcript. We do require test scores, and we do super score both the ACT and the SAT. And then we do have some additional documentation that we do request. It is optional, but I always encourage students to do these optional, hopefully that they'll at least get the letters of recommendation into us. But if they can do everything, that's even better, because we are a holistic admissions process. So we can use the information within the application. Maybe there's a deficiency in a test score, or there was something that happened during their high school experience where maybe they had a bad year, they had something like the coronavirus happen and they were at home and didn't have access to the internet and weren't able to complete their classes, for example. We could use all that additional information that they could share with us in that personal statement of what happened to their grades, and the other information they can share to make that decision and help award scholarships and other information that maybe they wouldn't just straight out, if they didn't provide for us, we wouldn't be able to advocate for them. So this is how we calculate that core GPA that I alluded to earlier. So these are classes that we use to calculate the GPA. You aren't required to have all of these classes, which is a different thing for students who are applying to UNC system schools. They have to have a certain amount of classes to meet those minimum core requirements. We don't have that at Tennessee. We like to see those things, and we like to see what's listed on this chart right here. But if they don't have one of those classes, we just eliminate it from the calculation. And then we give them the weight if it's honors, AP, or any of those other weighted type courses as part of the process. And then this year, students will be self-reporting their transcripts. So it'll be up to them to make sure that they're providing us with this information off of their transcript. And I've been doing the test right now. So once students start having to do this, you can please call me and ask me how to do it. I've done 10 transcripts so far from North Carolina high schools and South Carolina high schools. It is a little tedious, but you only have to do it once. And then once the information is in there, if another school is using that same software, then you don't have to add your transcript into that school. It'll automatically transfer to that next school. So that's the good thing about it. But you will have to type in every single class and then the level that you took it at, and if it was a year-long class or a semester and that kind of thing. But usually this, for students who are applying to University of Tennessee, the core GPA is usually higher than their GPA on their transcript, because there's sometimes courses that drop their GPA a little bit. So we've seen that with like a PE class or an elective and things like that. So just focusing just on their academic classes usually raises their GPA. So some important dates. So the most important date that's not on this list is August 1st, and that's when our applications open. For rising seniors, they can start applying on August 1st. But the second most important date is going to be November 1st. And the reason that it's the most important deadline is because if you don't apply by November 1st, then you will not have access to the competitive scholarship application or the honors and scholars program application. So if you want to be eligible to do either of those, then you need to apply by November 1st. The second deadline is December 15th, and this is our regular admission deadline. Those students are not eligible to apply for competitive scholarships or honors and scholars, but all the students who apply by December 15th will be eligible for our volunteer scholarship and our Tennessee Explorer Scholarship, which are our merit-based scholarships. And then if you apply by November 1st, we're supposed to guarantee you'll have a decision before the end of December. And then those students who apply by December 15th should have a decision before March. And so for students in North Carolina who are applying to the larger schools that have a January, February, or March release date, they would know their decision if they apply by November 1st before they hear from their other in-state schools, which gives them time to start making decisions and weighing their pros and cons and doing college visits and applying for outside scholarships and all the things they need to do, so that once they get their admissions from their in-state schools, they can have all the information that they need to make a good decision for themselves. We do use the February 15th priority date for the FAFSA, and then we have a confirmation deadline of May 1st, which is a national deadline for students who applied this year and who were accepted. We have extended that until June 1st. So if you know anybody that's applied to UT and it still hasn't made a decision, they have that extension for this year. I don't know, they haven't released any information on how any of the dates and deadlines will be affected for next year. But we anticipate once we kind of know a little bit more about where we'll be in the next couple of months, that there'll be an announcement about the changes that will come with that. But for right now, this is where we're kind of locked in for those dates. So we do have a scholarship and honors application. You're invited to apply to that if you meet the requirements for honors and scholars, and there is an additional essay and one recommendation. So if you've done your recommendations with your application, they just transfer over. So that's where that optional information, getting it done early, kind of helps you out. You don't have to go search for somebody to do a letter of recommendation for you later in the year. You can see on the screen what the requirements are for those honors and scholars programs. Then 1794 is a really popular program. They accept about 400 students a year. It's a 2-year scholars program versus the other 3 are all 4-year programs. And then our competitive scholarship application, there's, what they're looking for is leadership experience. That ask you to write an essay about that. And then again, the letter of recommendation can transfer over from your application. Our students who are high achieving students are the ones that usually end up getting the competitive scholarships, but they also continue through the spring year. So once they've, there's more money that didn't get spent in the fall, that's when that competitive scholarship application can be awarded to the freshmen in the spring as well. So our volunteer scholarship is our largest merit-based scholarship for our out-of-state students. And you can see the ranges here. We also have the Tennessee Explorer. That's a new scholarship for this year that they haven't, everything has to go through an approval process to have for a presentation. So they haven't approved the new screen slide for that one, but we can talk a little bit about that. But this is our High Achieving Student Awards, and that $18,000 award is about the difference between in-state and out-of-state. So if a student is awarded the level 1 volunteer scholarship and they get competitive scholarships, can be very competitive with what they would get in-state. And then this is a per year for 4-year award. So as long as they maintain their grades while they're at the University of Tennessee, which is a 3.0, they would get this award per year for 4 years. The Tennessee Explorers is starts at a 24 ACT, and it's around $5,000 and goes up to $7,500, and that's with a 3.6 GPA, that core GPA. So we wanted to make sure we're including a lot of our students from out of state with a scholarship. It's very limiting with just this one volunteer scholarship, so that's why they started the Tennessee Explorer. And all of those ranges are on our website if you just want to check that out. So now's the time for questions and answers, and here's my contact information. So let's see, was there any questions in the chat? I don't know if I can see it. Yeah, I can. All right.
I encourage all participants to ask your questions, should you have any, in the chat. And I'll go ahead, Kristen, and read the questions. I actually have one here. You're
Okay.
at the core requirements slide. You have a plus 1.0 for Cambridge. Is Cambridge referring to O or A level or neither?
As far as I know, it's not an O or A level. I don't do that process, so I'm not exactly sure what they're looking for when they look at the Cambridge. We only have, as far as I know, there in my territory, there's only one Cambridge school. And I don't know how they calculate that.
Are you talking about the Cambridge in England?
No, this is the Cambridge school that is a program here, and this is not international.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, local Cambridge type program. And there's one school, it's in Cornelius, that I know of. I know I just don't know what all schools there are that participate in that program. But I know what you're talking about. It's not the international Cambridge, it's a different type of program.
Okay, thank you. And I have another question before I go to the other questions here.
Okay.
And where do international students fit into University of Tennessee's financial aid packages?
So yeah, there's an international office that does all of that. Of course, they're not eligible for the FAFSA, but there is quite a number of scholarships, and it's a very large international program at the University of Tennessee with a large endowment, so that those students work directly with that department. And the reason I don't have a lot of information is my responsibility is only for domestic freshmen. So I don't even work with like the transfer population.
Okay, that's fine. So let me ask now. So Liz asked a question here. Can you discuss the architecture program, please?
Yeah, so we do have architecture, interior architecture and graphic design, which are part of the College of Architecture. Is a very competitive program because of the number of seats that are available. I think there's 33 seats just in architecture, but it has a state-of-the-art facility. It is a 4-year degree, so it's not a program that some schools offer that's a +1 that where you can graduate with your master's. But do you have specific questions about the architecture program or?
Yes, Liz also asked, do you need to submit a portfolio for architecture? Do you have study abroad?
So their portfolio is optional, but highly recommended. And that's just because of how competitive it is. You want to put your everything you can out there for them to evaluate that. Those are the competitive programs are the only programs I don't read the applications for. So I don't normally see what those portfolios look like, but you can contact them directly. They have their own recruiter and they can share any information. They kind of open door policy that you can call them directly or email them, and their information is on the website as well. And then we do also offer a study abroad program for all of our students. It's something that's very popular. We offer anything from like a 1 week to a full year. There's various types of platforms for that, from faculty-led to exchange programs. There is also on our website a chart where you can check that out, and it tells you about the different programs, and also has some vignettes of students who participated in those study abroad programs, so you can learn more about it. Also, we talked briefly about the alternate pathways that students who may have a deficiency in either their GPA or their test scores. One of the pathways that they can attend is to do a study abroad program through VERTO, VERTO. It's a study abroad program. They would do that for their first semester and take classes and study abroad. I think right now we are offering in London, Costa Rica, and Italy. And they take those classes if they're successful at those classes, and they enroll for the spring with us. So it's something that we think is really important. Also do a lot of humanitarian type programs that are done internationally. So like a mini-mester where they may go if there is a need in another country, or even domestic need where they can go for a mini-mester and do a humanitarian project, because we are the volunteers and we want to be out there helping people across the world. Let's see, students courses at other UT schools and transfer them easily. We do take transfer credit. I don't know if you're referring to like UT Chattanooga or UT Martin, but you can go on our website especially if you're dual enrollment or you're thinking about transferring to UT after a couple of years at another college. There's a chart where you can put in the name of the school where you took the course and then the name of the course, and it'll tell you how it transfers to UT. So everything like general education wise should transfer. Some of them might not transfer exactly what it is as far as a credit. Usually English and math and sciences and those things would transfer in as those general education requirements. But if you take something arbitrary, it may transfer in as like an elective, which you have to have a certain amount of electives anyway, so you would want to take those. But that chart's very helpful. You can just go on our website and do a transfer course equivalency chart, and it'll pull all that information up for you.
So Angel is asking, what support is there for underrepresented and low-income students? Yeah,
so we, for underrepresented groups and multicultural recruitment, we have a division called multicultural recruitment. It's within the admissions office as well as other departments across campus, and every college has a representative that works for within that department. And that goal is to work with students and within leadership. And we do have overnight program called JUMP for multicultural students, prospective students who want to participate in that. And there's Me for UT, which is a minority enhancement program that you can be a member of, and they do a lot of activities on our campus as well to support those students. We just announced last year that vol is a verb, and so we want to meet our students where they are. So we want to let everybody know that we welcome anybody, wherever they are, whoever they are, to be a volunteer. And so it's a very strong mission that we're holding up at the university.
Okay, and Candice is asking what percentage of your students are from out of state, and what are the demographics of the student population?
Yeah, So with it being the flagship university in Tennessee, of course, quite a large number of students are in-state. But about 30% of our students are from out of state, and then we do have a large international population as well. The demographics aren't quite where I wish they were, but we've been working on that. We're about 23% minority groups right now, which has increased significantly from in the last 5 years since they've been working to establish those multicultural recruitment teams across campus.
And you may not have this response readily available, but I'll ask, do you know what percentage of the minority group of students is Black?
I don't know off the top of my head. If I had to guess, it's probably the largest percentage out of the groups, with Hispanic being secondary. So I would say somewhere maybe around 15 to 18%.
Okay. Is there any other question from our participants? I'll give you the chance to ask your questions. In the meanwhile, sorry.
I can see one that says the most popular majors.
Okay.
And so that's it's a very wide range because we have so many majors, but probably kind of the top 5, I would say, our biological sciences are very popular. Our College of Business and College of Communications have some majors within them, specifically finance. We're one of the only universities, I think there's 3 universities that in the finance that have a live active stock market courses that our students can trade live real money for an entire semester. Our journalism and especially broadcast journalism in the sports area. So we work with ESPN, and so a lot of students who want to work in the journalism or broadcast journalism area are attracted to our school because of that relationship. Our agriculture school is very popular. We have one of the top veterinary schools on the East Coast. And so that's very popular for students who are interested in animal care. Also, we have fisheries and wildlife management, which is very popular. And we have a sports management degree that's part of our College of Education, Health, and Human Sciences, and that's very popular students who want to work in that arena. So there's a lot. I could keep going. Psychology is like the most popular in the arts and colleges, science and that department. There's a BA, and then we also have a Bachelor of Science in Psychology, which is a neuroscience degree. That's very popular as well. So where do your international students come from? They come from all over. This year, we don't have a good representation so far because of the travel ban that kind of affected people being able to apply and thinking that they might not be able to come. But if I can stop sharing my screen and I can actually pull that up for you. Slate is open. Let's see. Freshman applications, if I can see where they're from.
And as Kristen look at that, I'm going to encourage participants again. Any question you have, please feel free to ask. And also we'll be publishing the link, for the survey. Feel free to answer the survey after the workshop. We also host every Monday a workshop on various topics around college access. So should any of our participants want us to present on a particular topic around post-secondary or college access, please send us an email at gameplancollege@emilek.org. So gameplancollege@emilek.org, and we'll be more than willing to research and present on that topic if we don't already have a presentation for that topic. Also, please feel free to join us on our subscribe to our YouTube channel, as well as to follow us on Instagram at Gameblend College.
So it's loading, it's taking a minute. So if you'll just bear with me.
No worries. And as you look at that, if you can multitask, Kristen, there's another question here about can you discuss services for mental health?
Yeah, so it's a very important topic for us at the University of Tennessee. We take it very serious. We have a very extensive counseling department, which includes all types of services, from just needing help with preparing for the transition from high school to college, to any other mental health that maybe you need to transfer from a therapist locally to help you with while you're on campus. All that can be transferred to us. It's a very large program. It's built within our college counseling and career services center. And it's very private, and they do everything they can to help a student be successful at the university with the resources that they have available to them. And I think that a lot of students like to share a little bit of that information if it's something that they're concerned about. They share that in that personal statement, and then that's something that we just know that to advocate for that student, so we can reach back out to them and give them the contact at the university. So if they decide to attend, they know who to reach out to before they even arrive on campus in August. I don't know why it's so slow. I'm sorry.
Somebody's asking, Kristen, if you attended UT as an undergrad.
I did not. I went to North Carolina Wesleyan College, which is in Rocky Mount, North Carolina, for undergraduate, with a degree in psychology, and then I have a degree in counseling from Liberty University.
Okay, thank you.
I wish I went to UT. I went on before I decided to apply for my position, I went on a tour as just an interested prospective student, and it was so awesome that I was just like, maybe I don't want to go back to work. Maybe I just want to go back to school. They do a really good job on the tour, and it's very sad that we're not able to offer those right now, but they do have a virtual tour that's set up on our website. So if you want to check that out, it's just on the same page as what we just saw, that quick intro video that was in the presentation. If you go there and go into that page on the website, you can see a lot more virtual information that we're trying to help to connect you to campus until you're actually able to come, hopefully in the fall. Our campus is closed until July 31st so far. So I've got the page pulled up, and the countries, and let me see if I can share this with you so you can see this as well. Because it's quite a number of, let's see. So this is where our students come from, and I'm going to kind of scroll down towards the bottom where you can see the different countries. Probably shouldn't have all this information in front of you, but as you can see, the number of applications that come, the application is this first. Let me make sure I'm telling you. Okay, so you want to kind of look at this 2020 completed, so this column right here. You can see where all the applications came from and then where they're coming from internationally. So follow my arrow. So it's quite a number. I don't know if I'm going too, stop me if I'm going too fast. And the far left is how many applications came from that place the year before. So I don't even, some of these have acronyms. I don't know where they are, but.
How many came from North Carolina?
How many came from North Carolina? Let's see, we can go back here. So North Carolina, so this is of completed applications were 1,170. I can tell you right now, of that, about 50%, so we have about 50% accept rate for our out-of-state students. And then so far, I've had about 130 people that have confirmed they're attending the University of Tennessee. So out of about 600 people, about 130 from North Carolina and about 70 from South Carolina. And they now have until June 1st to make that decision. So we kind of expect that to grow a little bit, which is really great. So you can see, like, obviously Tennessee has the most applications. Atlanta, which is that Georgia, that's basically Atlanta, where the most out-of-state students come from. And then our Northern Virginia territory, Chicago, and then the state of North Carolina. And students come from all over the state of North Carolina. They're not just the Charlotte region, which is really popular, but it's the whole state, which is really awesome because you can see there's all the way to Wilmington from the mountain regions. So this might have some demographic information I might can share with you. So here's those numbers of the people who applied. So these are not who's been accepted, but you can see our female and male application numbers, and then of all the students that applied, where that metric comes from. So not everybody reports to us that information, so we don't have, it's not 100% of a number, but yeah, a glimpse into the backside of the admissions process.
We appreciate it. So Monica is asking, what percentage of UT graduate students went to UT for undergrad?
I don't know the number. I don't have access to the information. I can tell you of the people that I work with, majority of the people that work in admissions did both undergraduate and graduate work at UT. And almost everybody in my division, there's more than 49 because you can't see everybody on a Zoom call. Almost everybody does have a master's degrees, and majority of the people did go to UT. So I would say if that's a representation of what it looks like for those students, then I would say that probably most of the people who went to undergrad went to graduate school there as well.
Okay.
So for our students who are interested in like the medical programs, they can do their undergraduate work at UT, but our medical school is actually in Memphis. So any of those pre-professional programs like dental hygiene and those kinds of things are done in Memphis through anything that's connected to the medical world, except for nursing. Nursing's only in Knoxville.
Okay. Is there any other question from any of our participants? I'm not seeing any. But in the meanwhile, Kristen, I want to say thank you so very much on behalf of the Gamefen College team, as well as the Emily K Center. We really appreciate you taking the time out to share your knowledge about UT. We hope that our students will know that they can reach out to you should they have any question, and we will definitely continue to maintain our relationship with you.
Yeah, and if you'd like to have Janae do a presentation for you about the multicultural recruitment aspect that she's in charge of, let me know and I can get you in contact with her to set that up.
Oh, definitely, we would appreciate that. Thank you so very much. So Christina will connect with you about that one.
Okay.
So
awesome.
Again, for all our participants, we encourage you to please fill out our survey. That the survey link is in the chat. Please subscribe to our Instagram. Please also, follow us on our Instagram and subscribe to us on our YouTube channel. So thanks again, Kristen,
Yes.
and thanks everybody else. Please all be safe. Have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you.